I feel really bad about myself, and I also feel really lame for starting this with a statement about myself. And we're just gonna keep going because it's slow and steady, and these eggs are actually stuck in there. One of them broke. That one just broke. And it's going straight into here. Okay. Good thing I got that bowl out. Alright. So I wasn't going to put an egg in that one, but I did. Now, the Enlightenment is the age of, wow, I sound like really cool right now, and we're just gonna keep going because I'm all right. Talking to myself here. Well, no, I'm not. Yes, I am. So the optimist perspective of life, which is what this is about, is contrasted with the realist perspective of the Enlightenment, wherein science was mass produced, and even lay peoples began to see their well, there goes all the sugar. Began to see their situations greatly improved in the Enlightenment. A lot of that had to. You have to start stuff like that. Okay, a lot of it was about jurisprudence, whatever that means. I don't even know what the Enlightenment is all about, but that's where optimists begin. So obviously I have not prepared that one looks, no. I have not prepared a PowerPoint, and what a shame. But this is kind of helping me. That looks like the Enlightenment. Cool. Okay, I'm going to save that picture. So that's how this starts. Minkas get real. This is not a good place to start. And almost every single one of these depicts, look, that's like so optimist right now. I don't know, I like this one. Actually, that's just because I've been watching so many cartoons. Really, you've been watching cartoons. Okay, I don't have like split personality disorder, but I do recognize that optimist is one of more than one option, and I think that a scientific perspective is like, okay, you get those, what do you call it, flow chart. Okay, I'm just going to get one of these up here, and perfect. So this is the exact example of, I'm looking for sugar. Oh, I know where the sugar is. Got this. We got this, dude. Need a knife. End this tragedy. So I think a lot of the scientific, the rationalist perspective is about saying, this is what's on the table. Here's your start. If you don't have a PowerPoint, you're going to be having a lot more work to do when you're doing a presentation. If you don't have your plan going, but an optimist usually is, I did some research on optimists. they have better cardiovascular health. They live on average like 3 years longer. The optimistic person also is very assertive. They have plans, and their social resources are generally much more of a robust. There's more of the social resources. The optimist also may fall into what is known as, well, it's actually so common that it's worth talking about. It's called the Pollyanna principle. And let me get a picture of Pollyanna, because that's like, okay, you can do something and fail 100 million times, but then a rationalist will say, yeah, I know that this presentation is horrible. It's going to be horrible. It will not be horrible. And yet I'm gonna just, I can use the other sugar. I'm gonna post it anyway. And oh, here she is. Oh, I like this one. I think that one is so Pollyanna, because this is actually, maybe this one is. No, we don't need the teeth. And oh, right. So the optimist perspective really does kind of end up with the Pollyanna principle. When you is actually a lot of, it's named after her. Let me give a little history. Her parents died, and they taught her a really cool game to play called the Glad Game, and everybody loves Pollyanna. I wish I could see, if this was a PowerPoint, it would be like, what is this girl doing? But instead I have to go like this. Open image, new tab. Oh. I mean, everyone loves Pollyanna because she taught everyone that she met in her new town where she started living. She taught everyone the Glad Game. Now, mind you, this was a long time ago, and it was before, I don't know what, but there was a long time ago when Pollyanna was written, and her parents taught her this game, and everyone actually really likes Pollyanna. So here's a doctor. Happy doctor. He delivered her the bad news that she'll never walk again. And Pollyanna was still really happy. And there was some research done that, I need a really big spoon. Okay, what's with the tone, kid? You're talking about death. The Pollyanna principle was proved amongst doctors and amongst a lot of people, even in death narratives, wherein they were asked to reflect upon death experiences and write a narrative about it. And these there is a huge bias towards positive, and I don't mean just like the empirical term, I mean positive thinking. Their language is, and generally not their, literally everybody on Earth. And the rationalist perspective is reserved maybe for early stages of planning. I don't know. I don't know why I keep comparing optimist with something else. But the point is that being an optimist actually is good for your health. It's good for your heart. Cardiovascular. I guess that it removes some stress, which is physiological, as opposed to anxiety. You would think that anxiety is what optimism would solve, but no, that's more like rationalists thinking with probably solving anxiety. What am I saying? Okay, so this is just theoretical here, but the rationalist anxiety versus stress. Okay, so your heart's always going, and so is your attitude. Body language tells a person's attitude. And it's always going. You're always giving off body language, no matter what. And okay, let's find a good attitude picture. One that you don't have to read. Ukraine. Okay. I stay positive for Ukraine. Anxiety. I don't have anxiety ever. That's just the rationalist fact. Right. Okay. Sometimes it helps to compare it. But yeah, I can see that this is the most awful presentation ever. And why is that? Because I didn't prepare. Rationalist thinking is part of preparation. And the perspective that this presentation is the worst is a part of my perception or my perspective, and that's not the same as stress. And so an optimistic attitude will ultimately affect stress. I'd imagine that it also affects anxiety also. But why did I stay on this one? I don't know. It's why there's all this writing, like I kind of like this kid. It's kind of funny. He has an attitude. And it's good to see different kinds of attitudes, to remember just how many options there are. So yeah, I'm pretty much done making this. Let me go turn on the oven. Yeah, the reality is that this is actually really easy to make. I was going to put some figs in here too. So what I do is I make a layer at the lower part of the cookie, and then the middle part, and then I dump the part on the top that is, wow, this is really not mixed that much, but luckily it's all going to melt. But what's the point of talking about like optimists and all that, aside from the fact that I had to write a paper on it? I mean, what is so amazing about the optimist? It's interesting because it turns out that most people are optimists, and even though they like don't really look like it, I guess the language is contrasting with their inner reality. So yeah, I mean, even if they're like on the surface, everyone is this, or I mean, in their language, if everybody's it's weird. It's like, is optimism an attitude, or is it can you assess it with language? And most people would say it's mostly just language. Well, an open-minded attitude is not really the same thing. Is this how people write? I mean, this is bizarre. This is like just going nowhere. I'm just comparing like two things. That's why I don't really like to think about optimism ever, because when I'm thinking about the future, I don't like say, oh, why don't you just relax a little? Because that's not really like, I try to be open-minded. What comes up with this? Because this is what I want to think about. Alright, I've had more than enough cartoons. I'm like so sick of cartoons. Because they're just like so colorful and stupid. Yeah, this guy looks really open-minded. I want to look at this bigger. I'm going to actually make a presentation out of this. So I should really be studying this, you know what I mean? Because if you're going to do a presentation, so now if I was less lazy, I would add some nuts to this layer. Maybe I will do that. But if you have a good plan going and everything, there's good reason to see that word. There's just something about it. It's just so annoying, isn't it? I feel like there's a million times when people have said to me, "Why don't you be optimistic?" And it's just so obnoxious when you encounter somebody who is just, they just have this attitude. I just think attitudes are annoying. I don't have any walnuts. I guess I'm just gonna hope that this gets really crispy when I put this on top of it. Oh right, I was supposed to do a big layer of like more brown sugar. So this is actually kind of cool. This is turning out really good. I mean, not yet. It will once I'm done with it. Yeah, I guess that's a big part of optimism is that it's so in the moment. And then what happens? Like you get home and you reflect on your day and you say like, "Oh wow, that was really cool. What a good day." I mean, I saw the end of Pollyanna. She just basically, she's in crutches at the end of it. And the whole town, they love her and they felt really bad for her until she said, why didn't everybody play the glad game? I guess that's more of a rationalist approach. Like, hey, it's rational to be able to just say that's you're glad also. Yeah, I don't know what. There's no point to this.